Scott Weiner is really upset. He's a state senator from California, representing San Francisco, and apparently he got some death threats. Gee, I wonder where we've heard this kind of thing before. Oh, yeah.
And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
At any rate, let's go ahead and read it, and you'll see why in a moment. This is hilarious. It states,
not even 24 hours after MAGA grifter Charlie Kirk tweeted homophobic lies about me, I received this threat repeating one of his lies. But that was the point, riling people up against me and other LGBTQ people. Words have consequences, and Twitter is becoming a cesspool for this crap.
This is the tweet now that got them all upset.
It's a shame you come out and you're trying to release all these pedophiles. You're okay with people intentionally giving other people AIDS.
And it goes on and on and on. This is really nasty. I mean, I wouldn't want to receive anything like this. You have to think, what are we going to do about this hatred? Well, not much, because it turns out to be a little bit phony. You see, he kind of forgot that when you're in editing mode, you have certain symbols that pop up that don't appear when you're in reader mode. And one of those symbols is the cursor. And at the very end of the message there, right before the orange, you see the cursor. Furthermore, if you look very carefully, you'll see that certain passages in the tweet are underlined. In other words, grammar suggestions. There is no doubt that this screenshot was taken in edit mode. In other words, he was actually doing the typing, not the person he claims sent it. Whoops, caught red-handed. Of course, he came back later and said, well, now, yeah, I was typing this, but that was because I was just transcribing from an audio tape. Really? Well, you never released that, and you never mentioned anything about this being a transcript from an audio message. I wonder why that is. Perhaps because you're a freaking liar. Now, this all generated a couple of funny memes that I thought I'd show you. Here's one. I'm not going to read it because there's no better way to destroy the humor of a meme than reading it out loud. Let me show you another one. This is the ubiquitous paperclip help tool. I love it. Now, some of you may say, well, wait a minute there, Johnny. I already knew about this. Why did I even click on your video in the first place? Well, I don't know if you do this, but it sounds like he has done this before. I found this from June of 2022. Bomb threat prompts search of State Senator Scott Weiner's home. All right, let's read this. State Senator Scott Weiner vowed he would continue to fight for the LGBTQ community despite receiving a death threat that prompted authorities to search his San Francisco home for potential bombs over the weekend. And he goes on to talk about how he's continuing this fight for the LGBTQ community. And by the way, there were no bombs found. This was a hoax. Gee, I wonder who could have called that one in. When you hear about these death threats, and they're immediately followed by the celebrity claiming that this was not going to stop him or her from continuing the fight, you have to look at hoax. A real bomb threat, I think that most people would be more worried about the actual violence, but not Scott Weiner. He launches immediately into his LGBTQ activism, and that's a dead giveaway that he's just making this thing up. These death threats are just open platforms. They're a way to get the microphones out in front of you so that you can go on and talk about your platform. And you'll notice that Jussie Smollett did the same thing. So shame on Scott Weiner, guy. You got caught. And I'm sorry, your explanation doesn't cut it. Like my video, subscribe to my channel.